Hello and welcome back to Planner 101, Introduction to Decorative Planning. If this is your first time, welcome. My name is Megan Fackenthal and I am the teacher for this course. This week is probably my favorite week of the class because we are talking about planner tools. What do you need to be a decorative planner? Now, today's lecture could be the shortest one yet, as all you really need is a planner, a writing utensil, and your own imagination. However, I'm gonna step past those very basics and discuss the tools that I believe help break down the barriers to completing a decorative spread. If you missed the first 2 weeks of class, those lectures were recorded and you can find them here on my YouTube channel. I also wanted to mention that if you're enjoying this content and want more planner content, I encourage you to check out my Patreon group. In fact, I'm asking you to check out my Patreon group. The information for that is in the video notes. So now, without further ado, let's look at some planner tools together. As we spent the last 2 weeks together looking at my planners, know that a planner is the first tool, but I'm going to skip over planners and move on to other tools. I'm going to start with my absolute favorite tool of all time, stickers. Look, if someone had told younger me that when I got older, not only would I be able to afford a lot more stickers, I would also find a reason to use them daily, I would have been in such a hurry to grow up. That or I wouldn't have believed that person. But needless to say, I love stickers. So find the stickers that reach out to you, be them decorative. Here's a decorative sheet from Designer Chameleon. I love her style. She hand draws these. She's amazing. Or maybe they are more like functional stickers. So here's 2 sets of functionals. These are Mojo Jojo plans. This is from Kell of a Plan. These are the rainbow basics. So each page is a different color. We're in the greens because those are my favorite. Happy Planner has sticker books galore, and then Etsy has a tons of shops that also do either hand-drawn or are finding ways to pull other art together in sticker form, usually decorative. So big, small, decorative, functional, and just use them as often as you can or as you want. Now, I say that because if you are sometimes afraid to use your stickers because you're afraid you'll put them in the wrong spot, it'll get down and then it'll get ripped, you'll waste a sticker, you'll ruin a spread, this next tool is for you. This is the tool that made decorative planning truly possible for me. This tool is called Undo. Undo Remover. It is a sticky remover, but when you lift the sticker using this remover, it does not take the stickiness away from the sticker and it doesn't ruin the page. You can still, once it's dry, you can put anything back down on the page where this remover had been. So this is great for removing things off walls, off planners, off like the stickers that come on items you purchase. The one drawback to this is it does have a very chemical scent. So if you are sensitive to scents, this may not be the product for you. And of course, not everyone's gonna need it. It's just what I needed to tear down that barrier to decorative planning. So I have to mention it. It's different from Goo Gone, where Goo Gone like removes the stickiness. This allows you to pick up the sticker and reuse it. Amazing. Now, some people will design a whole spread using parchment paper. So I don't have any parchment paper. I don't use this method, but I do feel like it's an important tool for me to share with you. You put the parchment down because it's clear, and you could see the spread underneath. And then you can place the stickers on the parchment so that you can design your spread and move things around because you can lift it off the parchment paper. There's also some sticker templates that companies will sell that essentially allows you to make an entire spread, make sure you like it, lift it, and then put the entire spread again back on the paper where it's then permanent. Now, I tried this a couple times. It's not for me. It really gave me that like icky feeling of having to edit a paper. Now, most people don't get that feeling. I know that's a kind of unique to me. I just hate editing. So I don't use this method, but I feel like as a tool, it's really important, particularly when you're first starting, if you're someone who is afraid of making mistakes, because you just don't enjoy the feeling that you get when you make a mistake. That is something I highly relate to. Try the parchment method. Just put some parchment down on top of the spread that you want to make, like the journal, the paper you want to use, and then you can put the stickers down, rearrange them. Then when you're happy, lift it up, and you'd also know the layering that you need when you do that, so that part is really helpful. So that can be a really important tool, not pictured here, but I did want to talk to you about it. Obviously, because I don't do that, again, it makes the undo a lifesaver because I can still pick stuff up and reapply as I place a crooked sticker or decide I need a different type of sticker. All right. Of course, you don't have to use stickers. That's just my favorite one, so it kind of took us down a particular path. Obviously, if you can doodle, if you can draw, if you just don't love stickers the way I do, you are still a decorative planner, and now all you need is your planner and a pencil. So this is just a Bic pencil. I like it because it has not a never-ending eraser, but a very big eraser that you can twist up and down, and has this nice like grip for lead. So that's what I use as my pencil, but literally any pencil will do. If you don't want to use a pencil, grab a pen. I just grabbed a small handful of my favorites that I'm using right now. This is just, it says it's Mark's Style. It's a really, really fine point. Made a bunch of noise just to, but that's a really fine point pen. Then I grabbed a bunch of tool pens. Tools, I think, are what I call a ballpoint gel pen. I love a tool pen. They come in different sizes, 0.5, 0.7. I think they have a bold 1.0, but I don't get those. I just get the 0.5 or 0.7. Then my newest obsession is a fountain pen. This is the Coeco Sport. This is a fountain pen. Gets full size. This one is this one's a medium nib, if I remember correctly. And then I had to get an extra fine nib because I love just a really fine line. So, but I'm loving the Coeco Sport. Very affordable for a fountain pen. This one has green ink in it. This one has sky blue ink in it. It's an obsession. I now want all of the fountain pens. And then, of course, pens that came across the pond with me are all of my Tombos. So Tombow pens are really great if you want to do bigger lettering. They are dual brush, meaning on one end is one size, so this is the bigger end, and then on the other end is like a 2.0 probably tip. So these are great. They come in many different sets, which I find helpful in the sense that they really kind of show you what colors look really good together. And then I love having different sized fonts in my planner, and this helps me do that. You can also use that brush end for the next type of tool that I want to talk about, and that's the highlighter. So you can use the brush end, particularly on the lighter colors, as a highlighter, or of course, you can buy highlighters. So these are the Zebra mild liners. Mild meaning that all the colors are kind of mild, so that you can use even the brown, even the like darker red. You can really use it as a highlighter. These are also dual. On one end is a chisel tip. They do also have brush ends, but these are the kind of traditional chisel tip on one end and point end on the other. Again, it's gonna allow you to highlight and use different sized fonts in your planners. I just love highlighters. This just feels productive somehow when I get to use a highlighter. I'm also in Germany right now, so I've grabbed a bunch of the Stabilo Boss because I'm pretty sure those are made in Germany because they're in every store. Now, my next tool, probably not surprising, with my love of undo, my next tool is whiteout. This is a Bic whiteout strip. They have, each brand, I would say, has a slightly different tint or shade to their white. So it can help to look at different brands. Tombow has a brand, Bic has a brand, there's a bunch of different ones. But just to find out which white more perfectly aligns with the white of your planner, if those differences will bother you. If not, grab any whiteout, and obviously anything that you made a mistake with, just wipe that out and try again. This just allows me greater freedom to be a decorative planner. Now, I could end the video there. I think those are the absolute real requirements that one would need to be a decorative planner. Obviously, it's really just the planner and the pens. That said, this next set of tools that I'm going to tell you about are truly the ones that made me feel like I was officially a decorative planner. So, what tools are those? The first one is washi tape. There's just something, like washi tape is so cute. You see it, there's like so many of them at the stores, and I just want them all. And I felt like I could really, once I could figure out how to use them, I was really a decorative planner. So I love washi tape. To use washi tape though, you don't necessarily have to have scissors or a way to cut the washi tape, like a craft knife, but they're very helpful. So having a craft knife, having scissors, kind of key. And then if you have a craft knife and scissors, then you might as well have fun decorative papers. So if you have the decorative papers, this is just one example. I have a whole different set of them. There's like this is a card that I got that I think you could rip off and use. And yeah, so this just gives your decorative planning another option, some depth, and that really helps if you have scissors or a craft knife to cut where you want instead of having to rip, although ripping it gives a really good, antique-y look. Of course, if you have paper, you need glue, because you need a way to stick the paper down. This is a glue stick, a liquid glue pen. You can tell it's one I have well used, as I have smashed that end down. You just shake it, push it down, and the glue kind of, floods the nib, and then you can get it in pretty tight places. I have this in multiple nib sizes, essentially. I don't think you have to have that, but the finer the nib, the finer the place you can get into. And then finally, if you're going to use paper, you're going to find if you're using a planner that has holes in the paper, whether that is for discs or for rings, then you're going to find it really helpful to have punches. So this is just a hole punch. This allows you, once you have this down and you've covered up the hole, then you can repunch it. Same thing with this. This is a We Are Memory Keepers individual, like one at a time disc punch, allowing you to cover up the disc areas and easily punch them back so you can get them back in your planner. All right, so like I have been saying every week, this is not an exhaustive list. There are so many other planner tools out there, and I would love for those of you who are watching who are already doing this, what is your favorite planner tool? What did I miss that you think I should have included? Let me know. And then come back next week when we will discuss using our planners and the routines we have to help us use our planners. See you then.